Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis. So wanted to talk about Romulus gear and a little bit about some Civ gear sub debuffs on the sub cities. And Romulus gear, I kind of missed it. I didn't miss it, but I kind of just wasn't interested in it. Never made a video on it because I stopped coining on my old server, and this was behind a paywall, so you couldn't get it with the new Civ, with the old Civ fragments. You couldn't upgrade to it. This was purely cake items. So I do have a Romulus bracer I just bought last event. I have not put it on the sub general yet. I should, but I gotta wait for the second piece, because what I want to say about Romulus gear is only worth it with the 2 set debuff. So this is what I'm talking about, this 2 out of 6. This is the most important part of Romulus gear. 2 out of 6, minus 15%. Because if you look at this on its own, it's really not that powerful. Minus 35% siege attack. Well, if you go to your Achaemenid gear, you get minus 42% as it is. So that's stronger, and you get it on lots of pieces. So this isn't that great. And you could just put on the range debuff of minus 42 and then upgrades to 48%. And then range and siege defense and siege 2020, that's really not that strong. I'm going to show you some other pieces. But when you add that all troop HP debuff to it, that becomes 35, and that's very strong. And then obviously you're going to pick one of these other two, so it becomes something that's really worth it. And because these ones are just siege, not siege and range, it's going to go up a little higher. Now, what to do with that? So you put 2 out of 6 on a sub-city, and then I'm going to show you some other gears that you should put with it. And right here we have the upgraded stuff, and you can see the set debuff is enemy troop attack minus 18% at the bottom. So that's what you kind of have to compare it to. You're losing that when you break this apart. So if you look at this, let's say I changed to Romulus and Romulus. Well, now I can really think about changing all of these 4 because, right? Because I just lost the minus 16%, so there's no point having that, and do that all on one general rather than spreading it out. So what pieces would I put on there? Obviously, this one's going to be, these 2 are going to be the hardest ones to replace, because actually I guess that too, because it's going to be hard to get the boots on the supremacy. But if you're a low coiner, right, you don't get those ones, so you're going to have to use them on all the free fragments you get, and it might take you like a year to get 90. But it could be worth it to make one super sub-city general. So I'm going to show you a couple pieces you can look at. And first I'll show you one that is very overlooked. This is the Fearless Ares chestplate upgraded. You get minus 34% range attack and some siege debuff as well. Why is that important? Well, because chest piece is a supremacy and it's hard to get. So it will save you some money, right? It'll give you some other options with your Civ fragments, your supremacy ones, because you don't have to use it to get a debuff to get all the matching pieces. So what other pieces could you use? I'll just go through a couple really quickly. And obviously one of them is the Augustus set. And basically the 2 best pieces you would use are right here. This crown and the pants. But really the pants are the best one. The crown isn't that good. It just happens that the crown is way better than the ring, and all of those are on the conquest side. If you go over to the supremacy side, they are a bit better, but not great, and really nothing that I would recommend. One thing I want to say more about Romulus as well is Evony did do us a favor by having all the good siege debuffs on the right side, the cheap side. If you go over here onto the next side, that is mostly range, and then a bunch of ground and mount that no one really cares about. And then they're mostly range with ground. So all the good ones are on the right side, so that's cool. And I'm just going to show you a couple others that some people overlook and don't think about. And the one is Bourbon. So Abbas, first we could go to the Abbas, and it's not that, it's the Abbas pants. So you could put that on a sub. These siege defense and HP buffs do get pretty high. I think they get, is it 35 or 40% they get to when they're fully buffed. So definitely one to think about. And then another one is the bourbon chestplate. This is an awesome one. Look at this, level 1, and it's already at 30%. I think it gets to 45% for the siege HP debuff on there. There are obviously some other stuff. I'm not going to go over every single piece, but just keep in mind that you are doing the 2 out of 6 debuffs when you're getting the set pieces on the Civ gear. And the main one here on the Augustus, I almost didn't mention it, was the enemy troop attack being 10% for just 2 of them. So that's why you'd get 2 of them, even if only 1 is the one you really want, because it'll mitigate the damage that's being done to you by losing the 18% debuff on the from the Achaemenid gear and the upgraded Parthenian, whatever it's called. But, you know, the thing is, it's going to be tough to do that because obviously it goes in the same spots as the Romulus stuff, but you could break apart 2 different generals and do it. And, you know, range attack and siege, HP defense, and attack are going to be the 4 main things that you're going to want to debuff if you are a larger, low coiner, medium coiner, almost free to play, but you coin a little bit, but you're in a big alliance and joining rallies. You do have to keep that siege debuff up or your teammates are going to get pretty mad at you. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about the Romulus gear, the upgrades to it. Are you prioritizing it in your Civ gears? My opinion is once you have your wall general done, once you have your main PvP generals done, you might as well start getting some debuff gear. And I would pretty much kind of ignore this one if you're a low coiner and you already have the other stuff, the high-end or the boss. It's like, okay, is subtracting the high-end and putting this on that much better than me? High-end has some good debuff stuff too. The problem is you also want it on your PvP march. So a lot of choices to be made, right? Like, subscribe, leave a comment.